Hello everyone, welcome to our handover guide for the brand new Nissan ARIYA. This will be a comprehensive guide over the vehicle. The charging point has moved to the side of the vehicle on the ARIYA now, and when unlocked it will release the press here for you. You do have an LED light on the right here. On the top you have your domestic pin and wall plug-in home charging, and on the bottom you have our combined charging system plug-in unit for your rapid charging. So on the ARIYA now, we have our new keyless entry system. So as opposed to having a button on the side, you do have a more touch sensitive button, which is, so you hover your finger over, it will unlock and lock the car respectively. And as well, you do now have the reach in. So reaching your hand through, as long as your hand goes through the handle here and the key is nearby, whether it's in your pockets or in a bag, again, either in the vehicle or on your person, it will unlock the vehicle for you, obviously giving you access to the vehicle. So coming around the back of the ARIYA here, so as a standard across the range, we do now have our powered tailgate. So they've took notes from the X-Trail, they've implemented it again across the range on the ARIYA, giving you a lot more ease of access to the vehicle. So whether you've got shopping in your hands, you can give it a little swipe underneath here, as long as your key is nearby, whether again it be in a bag you have on you or in your pocket like me for example. And again, you can open and close it like so. It can also be accessed from the inside of the vehicle to the right of the steering wheel along the center console, or again through the button on the back here. Or as a final option, you can also access it through the key, so the button on the bottom here, hold it down and it'll open the boot for you. And underneath the seal in the back here, you do have your main battery. So if the car is ever out of charge, you can wire it up through here and jump start the vehicle to give it a little bit of charge. And on the right down here, you do have your vehicle repair kit with the option of a spare wheel being purchasable in the later run of things. So now heading inside the vehicle here, alongside the door, you have your door locks at the top here, your electronically adjustable wing mirrors, your one-touch windows for all four sides of the vehicle, and your window locks down at the bottom here, making sure that only you can access the windows on your side. And if you have kids in the back, they can't mess around with the windows. Down on the bottom here, so the ARIYA, as opposed to our Leaf we have, it does have automatic hold. So the ARIYA having creep, meaning we do need the automatic hold on the handbrake. So creep will keep going, but with the automatic hold on the handbrake, it will keep it still, stop it from moving at junctions. On the right, again, you have your fog light assists here, changing the angle of them. Steering assist, which is available whilst cruise control is active. Charging timers, if any are set on the vehicle. And as I mentioned, with the rear of the vehicle, the access to the boot, which again, so from the inside of the vehicle, key, and the rear of the vehicle as well. On the right of the steering wheel here, you have your automatic windscreen wipers with the ability to turn the ones on the rear on and off through the little knob on the side here. On the left, you have automatic headlights. Again, all of this being standard on the ARIYA. Coming alongside the steering wheel here, we do have leather along the outscapes of the steering wheel. So with our ProPilot system, which we have on the top here, it detects touch through your hands, so allowing the car to self-steer. If you take your hands off the steering wheel for too long, it will turn off the steering, again, without any heat being pushed through to the receptors underneath the leather. And again, with the ProPilot coming in here, it's our fantastic self-driving, self-braking, accelerating and steering cruise control system. So if you do a lot of motorway miles, a lot of bypass journeys, it's absolutely fantastic. Very easy to set up and access through the vehicle. And again, with it accelerating and decelerating with traffic, you can change the distance with the bottom right button here. So you have 3 settings, and it is measured in time as opposed to distance, as it gives a better overall distance from the car in front of you as opposed to, say, meters or yards that we could be measured in as well. To the left of that, you have your phone accepting or declining. So again, the car having Bluetooth connectivity, Apple CarPlay built in, being wireless, and Android Auto. You can accept and decline phone calls through the button here. You can also speak to the vehicle through voice recognition that the car has, again, whether that be through Siri, through an Apple phone, or through the Nissan Connect that the car offers. On the left, you have your infotainment, so your volume adjusting on the top left here, and your playlist and radio changing down here. And in the centre here, you have the ability to change through your dash options. So again, currently we have our power gauge on the top left and our mileage and battery percentage on the right. But scrolling down can give just the dials for you, and scrolling across gives an overview of your driving styles, your efficiency over charging, charge timers. So in this case, through the ARIYA, we have four different options to choose from. So your 3.6 kilowatt, which is your wall plug-in and domestic pin, 7.4, which is your wall charging, and then 50 and 130 kilowatt, which is accessible superchargers. And changing these through the steering wheel here, you can view how quickly the car will charge. In this case, it won't particularly change much, as once the car goes above 80% on the battery percentage here, it does slow down supercharging quite drastically. If I was to change it to 3.6, for example, you can see how it changes, say from 100 minutes, that up from 35 minutes. Going across, we have our navigation. So it's been something people have said a lot about our vehicles, is the lack of navigation on the centre console here. So now we're able to, again, with the pushed up dials on the top here, we're able to have navigation on the screen. So you're trying to keep your eyes on the dash and on the road, as opposed to having them on this screen in the centre console. And you've got your connections here as well. So when Apple CarPlay is active, you'll have your notifications on there and your music playing. And you have your driving assist here. So when you have your ProPilot active, it'll be active on here, giving you all the information from your steering, if there's a car in front of you, whether the car brakes. So something that's been mentioned through our Leaf with the e-pedal is people being worried about if the brake lights are showing or not. But in this case, when I take my foot off the brake and put my foot on the brake, it does show when the ARIYA is braking. And then you do also have your settings with a plethora of different options in here, from your driver assistance, display settings, eco settings, and I think everything else you could want with the vehicle. So in the centre console here on the ARIYA, on the top left we have our connections, ranging from Bluetooth, DAB, FM and AM radios, and with an active connection via an Apple phone. So I'll connect my phone quickly. If I click add new device on here, it'll be under the My ARIYA option, as it says on the dash here. Give it a second to pair, and as long as the pin is okay on there, click allow contacts on here. The ARIYA does have automatic Apple CarPlay here, so clicking yes on here will bring up the mirror for my phone, bringing up your Spotify, and again obviously mirroring all of your phone from your navigation apps. So Waze in this case be an extremely useful app, especially in the case of the ARIYA, bringing up your navigation and traffic, for example. But again, mirroring your phone, bringing up messages. The Nissan Connect app, which the car does have, is absolutely fantastic. So not a wide connection isn't needed in the case of Apple CarPlay, but for Android Auto, you do need a wide connection. In the bottom left here, you have active charge points in the nearby area. Currently not available on our model, but it will bring up on your models locations of charging points in the area. So if you do need to charge off or supercharge the car, for example, in a closed off area with low battery, it'll bring up the charging points on there for you. On the right, we have our navigation. So in this case, we do have extremely up-to-date TomTom sat-nav. Again, if you do have the navigation on here, it'll bring up your music playing, a destination you might have previously set, so in this case being our home location at Nissan in Coventry, whereabouts you are, and again along the bottom here of the options you have anything from restaurants, petrol stations, hotels, different settings, live traffic which can be viewed and accessed via our Nissan Connected Services app, and the ability to set up different route options here, whether it's a new destination, to cancel a current route, show a destination you've set in, recalculating routes, and adding different preferences and settings into the TomTom Nav on there. Again, you do have the option, even if your phone is connected via Apple CarPlay or Android Auto to still use the TomTom sat-nav, giving you a wide range of options to use for the vehicle. Swiping across here, again showing our connections on the left, and with the ARIYA's new smart user, you can set up different users for different keys with the vehicle. So again, the car comes with 2 keys. If you and your partner both drive the vehicle, on our Evolve models, you can set up memory function seats. So with 1 key, it'll set up 1, and the other set up a different seating position. Fantastic for multiple drivers. In the app settings, we have our Nissan connected services, EV settings, potential downloaded apps, and TomTom weather, which we do offer with the ARIYA. Do also have Alexa built into the vehicle, so once your Amazon account is connected to the vehicle, if you have smart lights, smart heating, smart devices at home that do use Alexa, you can connect through there, speak to the vehicle through the voice recognition we went over earlier. Say, Alexa, turn on the lights at home, and you'll come home to a nicely lit, warm house. And on the top right, as I mentioned, you do have TomTom weather, and on the bottom right, Nissan connected services. So if you're ever in trouble, for example, or need some help with something on your vehicle, you can give them a call for the vehicle. It's a live feed that we do offer, so there's always going to be somebody on the end of the line ready to take your call. And on the right here, heading over again, a fantastic thing the ARIYA does offer is a range that your vehicle can cover. So currently, the vehicle does have 200 miles of range. Again, this being shown on the driving range here. So if we quickly zoom in, the light grey area that we can see here is our main driving areas, and the minor grey areas around the outside on the left and right and down low are potential ranges you can cover through the regenerative braking that the vehicle offers. And heading out of there, on the right, for the vehicle being used during your drive, you have your kilowatt usage. So whether the car's being charged, is using the air conditioning, your driving styles, it will give you an accurate representation of how well you've been driving and the kind of energy you've been using and consuming through the vehicle. And as a last option, on the right here, you do have a little clock, but you do also have the ability to customise and change the dash as and how you'd like. You can also activate and change the car, so if you like a darker setting, so dark mode on your phone, you can adjust and change, and this will automatically change when you turn on the headlights on the vehicle as well. So continuing along on the dash here, on the right, as I mentioned, you do have the light and dark settings here, but you also have our camera button. So the ARIYA having 360 cameras as standard, meaning you get a full panoramic view of the vehicle. If the car is in drive, you'll get a forward-facing camera like this, and when you slide it into reverse, it will automatically go to the rear. Placing it in park or drive again will bring it back to the front. But pressing the camera again, a fantastic feature that the vehicle offers. Again, with the 360 cameras, the cameras being underneath the wing mirror. Once you press the camera button once, again, whether it's in drive, park or reverse, you can bring up a curb line view of the vehicle. Fantastic for supermarkets or even just at home parking next to curbs on a busy street. And if you press it again, it will bring up, again, either just a rear or, again, if you slide it into reverse, a rear view of the cameras. And going down the buttons along the side of the fantastic screen here, on your home settings, you have the main dash we've been over, the navigation, so a quick mark into the TomTom sat-nav, our Apple CarPlay and settings in this case, so this one giving the options through your connections. And with Apple CarPlay or Android connected, you'll get both of these bringing up your Spotify. And in this case, both bringing up the Apple CarPlay. And down on the bottom here, you do have a full access to the climate control system that the ARIYA does offer. Down here, we also have our haptic feedback, which gives you some basic options to choose from. But your main control for the climate is all through the settings here. So the ARIYA having dual climate control, meaning you can individually change the driver and passenger settings on the car. The car having heated steering wheel as a standard, you can automatically turn this on, so whether it gets cold, the car can pick this up and it will automatically turn it on for you first thing in the morning. And once it highlights orange, you know the steering wheel heating is on. The same also goes for the seats on both the passenger and driver side of the vehicle, allowing you to put them on automatically or change the heat settings. So in this case, the heats on both the seats having 3 separate settings. So in this case, mine's heating up very quickly at the minute, but you can turn it down, so from 2 to 1 and turning it off completely. Same also applies for the driver's side here. And in the centre, you do get more options with your fan speed in the centre here, and allowing you to change potential direction of the flow of air. So currently going to our feet, then towards our person, and then to the windscreen as well, giving you a whole range of options, a lot more ability to change and preference where you'd like the airflow to go in the vehicle. And going along with the airflow and the climate control in the vehicle, you may have noticed through some of the video that the air vents throughout the vehicle are all built into the seamless copper plating along the dash here. Again, you slide it across back and forth to open and close the vents like you do normally, but with them being built in, it gives a lot sleeker look and just a cleaner feel to the interior of the vehicle. So in the centre console of the ARIYA here, again, they're following the copper plating that was familiar on the dash of the vehicle, and the car can also come in. In here, you do have our dual cup holders, which can be pressed down to access for a little further space. Also closing it up again. You have our slider, so gear selector in this case, with your park button at the top here, reverse, neutral, drive, and your braking mode. A little further down, they have implemented drive modes to the ARIYA. So Eco, pressing down, again it's haptic feedback, similar to our climate control in the ARIYA. Pressing down turns you into Eco, but pressing up puts it back into standard, and then pressing up again takes it into sport. If you're familiar with our vehicles, you're also familiar with our e-pedal, but with the ARIYA in this case, e-pedal is now e-pedal step. So the ARIYA does have creep, so the e-pedal doesn't bring you to a complete stop unlike the Leaf does. And if you're keen-eyed, you might have noticed that the car does have a little icon here for your wireless charging. So under our side compartment here, you have the special patterning which the car has around unique and individual features of the ARIYA. So in this case, along the console here, we have our wireless charging pad. So if I'm to put my phone on the pad here, it should highlight orange for the vehicle. Give it a little close. It will highlight orange. So as soon as this is closed, it will highlight orange once the phone is charging, and it will go green once your phone's fully charged. But the idea of it being hidden away from here is just to keep your phone, or your eyes, pardon, off the phone and to keep your eyes on the road as opposed to keeping you distracted. You do also have a small little side compartment here as well. So our rear view mirror here is auto dimming, but as opposed to some of our older models now, they have built in the glass seamlessly, so the rear view is a lot less chunky and a lot sleeker compared to our older models. A little further up, something a lot of people love, as do I in my car, is a sunglasses holder. Up here we have our lights, which are touch sensitive, so both on the right and left of the vehicle here. Only a small spotlight, but enough to keep the car brightly lit during the winter months. A little further up we have our SOS button. So all cars nowadays will have an SOS button, so if you're ever in any panic, any trouble, or the airbag is ever deployed, the emergency services are only a button press away. And with our advanced model we have here, it does have the Sky Pack. This is also standard on our Evolve models, and with this you do get a panoramic sun roof with double click to scoot it all the way back there, giving you a lot more light and visibility on the car. And something a lot of people have asked for, which we have obviously received, is the ability to also open the sunroof here as well. But there we go, that was a good comprehensive look at the brand new Nissan ARIYA model, again our full electric SUV coupe. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do have any inquiries or any more questions about the vehicle, contact your nearest dealer to see if we either have one or can obviously supply you with some more information. But again, I hope you enjoyed the video and we look forward to hearing from you soon.